applause for our leadership at the Dubai campus and from India, of course, our Group Vice Chancellor, Dr. Gurinder Singh, sir. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, respected leaders, esteemed academicians, and experts joining us from across the globe. It is our privilege to welcome you to this India-Arab Presidential Roundtable on the second International Conference on Sustainability and Technology in Higher Education. Today's gathering reflects a powerful truth. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, in the words of Nelson Mandela. And today, we are not just discussing change, we are shaping the future of sustainable, technology-driven higher education across regions and generations. As we begin, may I request everyone to please rise for the national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. May I now request all our dignitaries to please join us on stage. I would request our Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Rafiq Al-Khader, to please lead it, and all our guests to please join us on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, yet again, a huge round of applause for these luminaries who joined us today for the discussions. The UAE today stands as a global hub of innovation, sustainability, and knowledge economy, investing heavily in education, research, and future skills aligned with UAE's Vision 2031 and the Net Zero 50/50 goals. To formally welcome us and set the context from the host institution, it is my honor to invite Professor Rafiq Al-Khader, Pro-Vice Chancellor, Amity University, Dubai, to welcome our guests. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Distinguished dignitaries, respected academic leaders, esteemed panelists, researchers, industry experts, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the International Conference on Sustainability and Technology in Higher Education here at Amity University, Dubai. We would like to respectfully acknowledge our founder, President, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, whose vision and commitment to educational excellence continue to guide the growth of Amity Education Group globally. We also acknowledge our Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, whose strategic leadership strengthened our focus on innovation, research, and international collaboration. A special welcome to Professor Gurinder Singh, whose leadership and dedication have brought this important conference to life. Your commitment to advancing research and dialogue in sustainability and technology truly reflects the spirit of this gathering. At Amity University, Dubai, we are committed to fostering an ecosystem of academic excellence, industry integration, research innovation, and global collaboration as part of the Amity Education Group, which spans multiple campuses worldwide. We believe in preparing students not only for careers, but for leadership in a rapidly transforming world. Our focus on interdisciplinary learning, digital transformation, sustainability, and industry engagement aligns perfectly with the terms of this conference. The higher education landscape is evolving in an unprecedented pace. Sustainability is no longer limited to environmental responsibility. It encompasses economic resilience, institutional longevity, digital transformation, sustainability, and industry engagement, align perfectly with the themes of this conference. The higher education landscape is evolving at an unprecedented pace. Sustainability is no longer limited to environmental responsibility. It encompasses economic resilience, institutional longevity, and equitable access to education. Technology, meanwhile, is redefining how we teach, learn, research, and lead. This conference serves as a platform for thought leaders, researchers, and practitioners to explore disruptive technologies, strategic management, digital transformation, and innovative models that will shape the future of higher education. Over the course of today's sessions, we hope to foster meaningful dialogue, collaborative research opportunities, and actionable insights that extend beyond this forum. On behalf of Amity University Dubai, I warmly welcome you all and wish you a productive and enriching conference. Thank you once again and welcome to this conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for this very cordial welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, may I just inform you that we have also been joined by Professor Ibrahim Hajri, the president of Khalifa University. Give a huge round of applause for Professor Hajri. It is now my equal honor to invite for an introduction of the theme and for special remarks our respected Group Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, who's also my mentor. Sir, I respectfully hand over the stage to you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, and what a great day to welcome our great friends from the Middle East. I had a privilege of meeting Professor Ghassan and Professor Ibrahim only last month at Goa and was very impressed by their great ideas. I'm equally looking forward to listen to Dr. Bastaki, who is the president of the University of Dubai. On behalf of our founder, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, we have got 12 universities in India. So on behalf of all the 12 Vice Chancellors, Director Generals, and of course, the most importantly, Dubai campus, I welcome all of you. Professor Rafid, you are a great leader. And along with Professor Wajhat, what you are doing in the Middle East under the guidance of our Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, it sets the example for many of the education groups. Those who have joined us for the first time at Amity campus, let me tell you that Amity is today one of the largest education groups of India with over 250,000 students, 12 universities in India, and 16 foreign campuses abroad. If you look at the footprints of Amity, you will find that every year there are a number of research events we are organizing across the globe. But I think the most special event for which our founder and our chancellor specially emphasize is Dubai. When we were establishing our university in Dubai, this was our commitment, this was our passion, this was our vision that whatever we will do in Dubai, it will help not only hundreds and thousands of the people of Middle East, but it will also increase the benchmark of excellence. They say that there are two kind of people in the world. One are known as basement people, another are known as balcony people. And these two personalities have been defined by Smith and Thomas in their book, which says about the personalities of the people. Basement people are the people who will always have a question in their mind that if they will do this, then there is a risk of doing. If they take a step forward, then maybe that there will be problems. And normally these are the people who will not be able to give the word their best. But then there are balcony people who will always encourage, who will always take a step forward, who will always try to create the new theorems of excellence. And I think today on the stage and off the stage, we have got the balcony people. Please give a huge applause to these balcony people. Professor Ghassan, a huge applause for him, a chancellor for Abu Dhabi University. Professor Hajri, president of Khalifa University, and Dr. Bastaki, the president of the University of Dubai, and of course, the chair and the moderator for the session, Professor Rafid, Pro Vice Chancellor of the Amity University, Dubai. When we look today at the conference which we are organizing for the 5th time in Dubai, I have been given to understand that we have got more than 358 research papers and about 107 case studies which are being presented, and a very rigorous process of Taylor and Francis, Springer, IEEE, and Case Center UK was followed to shortlist them. And researchers will be presenting these papers online and offline. So my congratulations to everyone who is presenting the papers. Coming on the theme of the conference, I would like to quote Andy Grove, which says that you need to obsolete yourself. If you will not, then someone else will. And I think that Amity's philosophy revolves around this. In India and across the globe, we are trying that through technology, we should be able to bring the word together. We should be able to make changes and transformative changes into the education ecosystem. And I think day and night, more than 15,000 people in the group, which not only teach, which not only research, they work day and night to see that how we can bring many countries and the students together on a common platform. There are a number of opportunities which are in front of us when we strengthen our operation in the Middle East. And I think that the first most important focus of our is going to be on creating the programs which can use technology and which can bring the Amity University and the universities from the Middle East together on a common platform. One of the initiatives which we discussed when number of universities from the Middle East, they participated in India in the Goa conference. And then I was given to understand that only last week, about 10 days back, when number of universities from India were there, we discussed in detail that how we should be able to bring transformative changes which can help the students from Middle East, from India, and from rest of the world to understand that what are the opportunities which are in front of them. World is changing very fast. We have seen that in one part of the world, what is happening. Visa regulations are becoming stronger. Socio-political situation is becoming different. Geopolitical situation is becoming different. And that brings an enormous opportunity for India and for Middle East to come together and to see that how they can help the entire world by making changes into the education system, by making a revolutionary step of bringing India and Middle East together. We as an education group at Amity, we see that there are a number of opportunities which are in front of us. There are very few universities and very few countries which work very closely on the co-opt models. And the more I spoke with our friends in the Middle East on the co-opt models, I think that we can create an ecosystem where the student can start a program in India or in Middle East, but then they can work in the various companies for 1 year. We had a long discussion in India of creating such programs, and I look forward to hearing from all the chancellors and very important dignitaries who are here that how we can create this as an ecosystem. But this is going to create, and this is going to create an ecosystem which is going to help us for all times to come. There can be various areas of cooperation, which includes starting a program in India or in Middle East, doing a second part of the program with the industry, and then third part of the program in another country, and then finally placing the students with the various companies. And if we are successful, I think that we can attract not only the students from India or from Middle East, but from the entire world. Also, we know that the visas are becoming a problem. So we need to deliberate that can we create a system where the students from across the globe, they can come to Middle East or they can come to India, and then they can take the advantage of having dual degree and joint degrees. The degrees can be one from the Middle East, it can be one from India, it can be one from Amity, but also where we already have a large number of partnerships from across the globe. So we can look at creating a system where one degree can be from Middle East, one degree can be from India, and then equivalents and certificates and degrees from the foreign universities where we have already developed an ecosystem. Last year, we saw a number of students from Middle East coming to India to understand that how the Indian industry looks like. Similarly, every year we are sending from Amity large number of students to Dubai. And I feel that these immersion programs can play a very important role. Immersion programs can play a very, very important role for all of us. Last year in India, we got an opportunity to welcome more than 2,000 students from across the globe, which includes about 400 students from Australia, which came under the new Colombo plan. From Monash, 300 students became a part of our ecosystem. Under the UKERI scheme, hundreds of students from some of the reputed red brick universities, they became a part of our system. Similarly, we were able to welcome large number of US students. And every year, we are sending large number of students to Dubai under the Middle East Immersion Program. I would urge all the universities who are present here to explore that can we create a system where the students from both the sides, they can do the immersion program in each other's country. And when the students, they come, they not only study in India or in Middle East, they also go to the industries, they pick up projects, and I think it's very, very helpful to understand the culture of the country. What we have seen in the past, that there are unparalleled opportunities in the Middle East, which the world has not been able to explore. For example, we have seen that the recent growth in the financial markets, the recent growth in the real estate, and also the growth in tourism and in other sectors which focuses on AI, green technology management, and sustainability, and very lately in gaming, is attracting some of the leading professionals of the world to the Middle East. So my request to all those who are present is to maybe start exploring and discussing that can we co-create the programs, can we co-create the models which can help each other. India is also changing very, very fast. We have seen that in the new education policy, our Honorable Prime Minister wants some of the leading universities to come to India. Amity would be very happy to support Arab universities, the universities from the Middle East, if they want to establish their campuses in India. In India, we have already got 12 universities. We have got more than 27 campuses. So any university which wants to come up, wants to open up a center of excellence, or want to co-create, or want to establish an independent university, Amity will be more than happy to support, to help, and to take the university to the various places and see that the project remains successful. We can also look at co-creating the academic delivery models and also focus on some of the key areas where the research and large number of scientists are required. In India, MIT is the largest partner of Government of India, through which we are able to take number of initiatives, which includes filing largest number of patents in India and also commercializing them, working very closely with the industry, and also at the same time looking at that where the skill gap is. We understand that in the MENA region, there is a shortage of workers in the various areas, especially in the area where the technical education is required. We'll be very happy to co-create the skilling and the professional programs with the various universities which can prepare workforce for the deployment in the MENA countries. And we can do it very fast because MIT already has a very strong footprint in the Middle East. We understand the culture. We have got a lot of respect for the academic institutions who are present there. We have already done student mobility programs. We enjoy research linkages. This is for the 5th time that we are doing a research conference in Dubai. We have got our campuses in Middle East. We have already done number of certification programs in the Middle East. Also, at the same time, we know that there can be various models which can work on which we can work on. One of the model which we can explore is a branch campus model, where a foreign university can come to India or an Indian university can come to Middle East and open up their branch. It can be an independent university also, where a independent education group comes up in India, or from India, it goes to the Middle East and creates a campus. It can be a franchise and validation model also. We already have got a tie-up with more than 400 foreign universities. So you name a university and you will find that MIT has got a relationship with them, with almost all the Group 8 universities, with almost all the Russell Group of universities, with almost all the top universities of US, we are working with. We can bring these universities, expertise from these universities, the certifications from these universities to Middle East, and we can also bring a franchise model very successfully to the Middle East, so that the students who don't want to go to Europe, or if they have got, or to US or to Australia, or if there are any issues of getting the visas, or if they want to do a full program in the Middle East or in India, then we can do a tri-party arrangement where the students can get the degree of a foreign university and also of the local universities. We have got our expertise of offering dual programs and joint degree programs. And today, if you look at the online programs in India, MIT Online is creating waves. It reminds me of a Pan-African e-network project, which under the leadership of our founder, we were able to implement in Africa. And it reminds me a very important incident which happened when we were launching this program, when Dr. Kalam, the President of India, for the first time went to Africa. He took 19 vice chancellors with him. And at Addis Ababa, when Dr. Kalam came and he spoke, he said that I'm going to gift Africa something which Africa is going to remember for decades. And all Africans, they clapped for 3 minutes. And his next sentence was, but not a dollar to give. So people asked, then what are you going to give to Africa? At that time, he said that I feel that we will be able to give the gift of a virtual education, satellite-based education. He kept on speaking with passion, with vision, but by the end of the day, African Union said that I think Africa is not ready. European Union, whose chair was present, they said that President, your idea is great, but we don't think that Africa will be able to implement this project. Dr. Kalam was an unusual president. He laughed on the stage. He came back. I remember 8:30 in the morning he landed. 2:30 in the afternoon we had a meeting where he said that I believe that this can be done. How many of you feel that this is possible? Give me a straight answer. I think that out of the 19 universities which were present, Amity was the only university where our founder, Dr. Chauhan, said that if nation wants it, we will implement that project. TCS, which is one of the most respected university, TCIL, Ministry of External Affairs, and Amity University became the partner. And we implemented this e-learning project in Africa. 2000 was the target of the students. 80,000 students became a part of the program. Today, I can see AI and gaming on the same platform. When we are talking about AI, we need to create programs because time has gone where the students were going for the full degree programs. Time has gone where they will be spending 4 years or 5 years in the university. Today's youth is restless youth. They want to put something on the Instagram and then want to look at that how many likes they have got. Today is a time when they will like to go for a short duration programs. And at Amity, we are using AI, we are creating programs which are most affordable at a price which no one can offer. The program which is in every area you touch about the human resource management, we will be able to provide you a program. You talk about the the finance management and the forest risk management, will be able to provide you a program. Data analytics, we will be able to provide you the programs. You talk about the content creation. We have got our own centers where we'll be able to provide and create the program. So I would request all the universities who are present that maybe that we can explore that how Amity, Middle East, and other universities, they can come together and create a technological revolution which can truly influence the ecosystem. I'm looking forward to understand and learn more from each one of you. But it's really a privilege. I heard the revolutionary views of Professor Ghassan and Professor Ibrahim. I was reading about Dr. Bastaki, who was awarded the highest award in the UAE, the Emirates Excellence Award. I have gone through the great work you are doing, but on behalf of Amity family, we can assure you that we are young, we are thirsty, we are looking forward to, to not only have an everlasting friendship with the universities in the Middle East, but to further strengthen our relationship and contribute most meaningfully so that the students and the large number of researchers in the auditorium who are listening us here or who are listening us anywhere from the world, they can get a benefit from the revolution which Middle East and India can bring together. With that commitment, with that confidence, once again on behalf of our founder, chancellors, on my own behalf, I welcome each one of you. I wanted to come personally. We just concluded with a research conference where more than 10,000 people participated in India, and my shoulder got twisted. So doctor advised me that I can't physically go, though I am not there physically, but my thoughts, my best wishes are with this research conference. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Please give a huge round of applause to Group Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, sir, for setting the strategic theme right on point. Thank you very much, sir, for these enlightening words. On this note, we move forward, and it is my honor and privilege to invite on for a keynote address His Excellency Dr. Isa Amal Bastaki, President, University of Dubai. Following his address, we will go with the roundtable discussions. Over to you, sir. Keep the applauses coming, ladies and gentlemen.
distinguished leaders of the Amity Education Group, esteemed dignitaries, respected colleagues and global scholars, dear students and future leaders, honorable ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, namaskar. आप हिंदी बात करो या इंग्लिश बात करो, कौन सा? दोनों ठीक है? It is both a profound honor and a humbling privilege to join you today at the distinguished international gathering. This gathering is to understand that education is not merely the transfer of knowledge, it is the empowerment of humanity. It is the engine of opportunity, the foundation of peace, and the pathway to sustainable development. Today we meet at a pivotal moment in history. We stand at the convergence of technological acceleration, environmental urgency, and societal transformation. The decisions we make in higher education today will shape the sustainability, resilience, and prosperity of tomorrow. As you all know, education is the engine of sustainable civilization. Mainly, sustainability refers to the economy, environment, and society. However, it is often discussed in terms of energy, water, and climate. Yet, at its core, sustainability is about people, their knowledge, values, and capacity to innovate responsibly. The universities are no longer institutions that simply prepare students for jobs. They are institutions that prepare societies for the future. We must educate not only for employment, but for environmental stewardship, ethical leadership, global citizenship, and responsible innovation. An educated world is an empowered world because knowledge enables individuals to transform challenges into opportunities. The UAE is a living model of sustainable vision, a nation that has transformed itself into a global laboratory for sustainability, innovation, and knowledge leadership. From the UAE Net Zero 2050 strategy to renewable energy investments and smart city initiatives, the UAE demonstrates that sustainability is not an aspiration, it is a strategic commitment. As an example, University of Dubai is LEED certified for Net Zero Energy Campus and LEED Platinum Maintenance and Operations Campus. So it's completely all optical, it's all about the optics, and it's a solar farm. And we do many things, dry cleaning by robots. We save a lot of water. We emit 22,000 tons of CO2. And also, we don't need batteries. We feed it to the grid, the extra generation. It comes back to us at night. It goes on. We produce 30% of our water also. Guided by visionary leadership, the UAE has embraced technology, education, and innovation as pillars of national development. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum reminds us the future belongs to those who imagine, design, and execute. So this is the future we have to look at. And also he says that impossible is not in my dictionary. And we engineers know that there's no impossibility anyway. And again, he said also that I don't accept anything but to be number one. When you be number one, you can serve the world actually. This philosophy is reflected in the UAE's commitment to AI, digital transformation, and knowledge-driven growth, ensuring that sustainability and innovation move forward together. We are living through the fourth industrial revolution, an era defined by artificial intelligence, data intelligence, advanced 5G, 6G communications, connectivity, big data, cybersecurity, nanotechnology, 3D printing, metaverse, digital twins, and automation. In addition to, of course, and you have to put the brackets, green economy. Without sustainability, nothing works. Technology in higher education is no longer optional. It is transformational. Artificial intelligence enables personalized learning tailored to individual needs, predictive analytics to support student success, intelligent research accelerating scientific discovery, virtual laboratories expanding access to experimentation, and smart campuses reducing energy consumption and carbon footprints. Yet technology must serve humanity. Our responsibility is not to create technologically advanced graduates alone, but ethically grounded innovators who understand the societal impact of their inventions. And of course, also economic impact. It is very important to say that technology without values risks harm, and technology guided by wisdom empowers humanity. Honorable ladies and gentlemen, higher education institutions must evolve into innovation ecosystems where universities must serve as hubs connecting research, industry, government, and society. Sustainability laboratories where campuses themselves should model energy efficiency, renewable energy use, and environmental responsibility. Talent engines for future economies programs must align with emerging sectors such as AI, green energy, digital economies, and smart infrastructure. Platforms for lifelong learning, where education must not end at graduation, continuous upskilling is essential in a rapidly changing world. The future university is not defined by buildings, but by impact. The new imperative of global collaboration is that no single nation, institution, or discipline can solve global challenges alone. In addition, climate change, cybersecurity, health resilience, and sustainable energy require cross-border collaboration. This is what today is all about. It's about cross-border collaboration. This is why platforms such as ITS, THE are vital. They bring together policymakers, educators, scientists, industry leaders, and young innovators to build shared solutions for a shared future. The Amity Education Group's global presence across continents reflects the spirit of interconnected learning and global cooperation. If sustainability is our goal, youth empowerment is our pathway. Today's students will design the cities, technologies, and systems of tomorrow. We must empower them with critical thinking, creativity, digital influency, ethical awareness, and global perspectives. But equally important, we must empower them with purpose. Leadership today requires more than management skills. It demands vision with humility, innovation and responsibility, growth with inclusivity, and progress with sustainability. True leadership is not measured by authority, but by the positive impact created for humanity. In this era of rapid change, leaders must serve as bridge builders, connecting technology with ethics, growth with sustainability, and progress with human values. As we gather under the theme educated world, empowered world, let us commit to integrating sustainability into every curriculum, harnessing technology responsibly, strengthening global academic partnerships, empowering youth as innovators and ethical leaders, and ensuring that education remains the cornerstone of human advancement. Let us build universities that do not merely respond to change, but shape the future. At the end, allow me to say that education empowers the mind, technology amplifies capability, sustainability safeguards the future. Leadership guides the journey. When these forces unite, we create not only progress, but purpose. Finally, I thank Amity University in Dubai for its vision and leadership in bringing together global voices to advance this important dialogue. May our collective efforts contribute to a more sustainable, inclusive, and empowered world. Thank you, peace be upon you, and have a nice day in this beautiful city of Dubai.
Thank you very much, sir, for these pearls of wisdom. Indeed, a lot of food for thought for all the people sitting here in the audiences. Without further delay, I would request our Pro Vice Chancellor, sir, to please lead the discussions as scheduled. Please give a huge round of applause to this India-Arab Roundtable. I think there is a lot that we all can carry today.
Thank you, Marwood. Thank you, Professor Isa. It's a very inciting speech, and really we need to learn lessons from that. India and the Arab region are emerging as strategic partners more and more in this global era. And the collaboration is evident from top government to all sectors within the two countries. We would like to see the education sector having the same sort of collaboration. So I'd seek your opinions on how we can advance this and what you think about today's education. Can I start with Prof?
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning or good afternoon now. Thank you for the invitation, Professor Singh. I hope you recover quickly in the queue, Professor Rafid, for chairing this session. I'm honored to be with the giants of higher education in the UAE, in fact. So it's a pleasure for me to share the stage with my dear colleagues. If I look at the last few weeks, we were in Goa. I co-chair a roundtable on India-Arab university collaboration, in fact, co-chair with Professor Singh. It showed the collaboration is happening at the educational level. Then we went to Ajman last week, and we had the Association of Arab Universities and Ajman University and the government of India doing the, once again, conference for Indian Arab University presidents, where we have discussed collaboration. And of course, at national level, you can see the close relationship between India and the UAE and the Arab nations, in fact, which would help us immensely. Collaboration really is a social process. It's not a scientific process. So you can meet as many presidents of universities as you want. And when we leave, we go to our offices. Everybody is so busy. And this is reality. Collaboration happens between faculties. It's like-minded people. They love each other. They are discovering something in a particular area. So I think our role here is to create the room for them, really, to collaborate. Collaboration doesn't happen top-down at all. As I said to you, it's a social process. Two friends, they like to collaborate. You can see the number of publications and so on. Of course, what happened last week in the AI summit in India, it has put the blueprints for the use of AI across nations, in fact, which is very, very important for us to be guided by some rules and regulations which can help the collaboration in areas. Of course, AI is the most important area in technology development, but climate change, sustainability, collaboration. And I want to give some examples, if you give me one more minute, please. We tend in our universities to handle sustainability-related issues, technology-related issues at a very low level. And when you look at the global picture and see around the world, 2.2 billion people who don't have access to clean drinking water, 2.8 billion don't have access to sanitation work, 250 million kids don't go to school, 160 million refugees, not just because of conflicts, but because of floods and so on. So I think we need to collaborate to handle the big problems, not just putting few solar panels in a car park and then say we have solved the issue of sustainability. And when we look at the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, none of them will be met by 2030. And I bet they may not be met by 2050 even. But it was interesting listening to Professor Isa and see what's happening in the UAE, where the UAE is taking the lead in many areas. Of course, India, it will be stupid of anyone not to collaborate with Indian institution and with India as a nation, of course. The demographic have changed, the power shift has moved from west to east, and we have to benefit from the opportunities.
Thank you, Professor. And I couldn't agree more. Professor Ibrahim.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for having me here. I echo my colleague, Dr. Ghassan's point. Maybe as leadership of institutions, we can basically put the frameworks on how universities can collaborate. And we have to be very creative nowadays. Because I think if you talk about student mobility, and this was a subject we've discussed during the Indian Arab Forum, University Forum, which I said in the audience that in the mobility business, if you don't provide an experience, then why should the student go from one campus to another? If they're going to face the same teaching methodology, right? Teaching calculus at Amity is not different than teaching calculus at Khalifa University. That's something that I tell you is the truth, right? And it doesn't matter where you go, it's the same calculus, and there's nothing there, right? So what added value you're giving to the student? What experience are you giving to the student through that mobility? So, and I always stress on impact is, if that experience is going to impact the student, then okay, let's do it. Even if they're not going to go take courses, it doesn't have to be mobility for courses. It could be anything else. Mobility of faculty is the same thing. If I'm going to have a positive impact on the individual or one of the institutions, then I don't think that's the right collaboration venue. So examples that we see have worked very well with not so much administrative burden, because with the student mobility, there is a lot of administrative burden. You'd have to make the equivalencies of the programs, and then the student going, traveling, and maybe they'll have to take some of their parents or brothers or sister, whatever it is, right? So there's a lot of administration there. What we do, as Dr. Ghassan mentioned, we find alignments or complementarity areas. And we say, okay, let's work on, let's say, health sciences, okay? And then we gather people from both institutions, and we say, okay, we put them in a room and say, find solutions, right? Give us some proposals. And then we basically, through that partnership, they come up with very creative solutions, and then each institution kind of funds it, or however it is, supports it. And then through that, you can do faculty mobility. Now it makes much more sense. They can go and use the facilities on the other university. The students can go to their co-advisors now on the other side of this partner. And we've done this with IIT Delhi, Abu Dhabi. When they came in, we opened Khalifa University for them, and we said, use the facility free of charge, and let's work together. Now we have 12 research projects with them, and we use their facility, and we told them, don't duplicate our labs, okay? Let's complement, and then this way we have a much better, meaningful partnership, right? This is the easiest way to go forward, but then you can basically, once that partnership is strengthened through that mobility, then you can create the second layer, and it becomes a long-lasting, sustainable partnership. And I think starting with the low-hanging fruits and quick wins is a better approach than trying to mimic what other institutions in the West have done, and then we just have to replicate it here. We need to look at the context of the UAE. We need to look at the context of India and how these partnerships are going to help and benefit both contexts. Thank you.
My turn? I think they said it all, so mine became easy now. We say in Arabic, إيد واحدة ما تصفق. One hand doesn't clap. So you need two hands to clap. The more, the merrier, right? So collaboration with other universities in the world is not a choice nowadays. It's a necessity. We need to understand the other culture, the other way of thinking. It's everything very important. And as they said, student mobility is important, faculty mobility is important. When I was in United Arab Emirates University, I was sent to University of Victoria in Canada to collaborate with them. Then I was sent to Melbourne. I did some research there, also research on the other side. This helped UAE University to grow. Same thing now. So research collaboration is very important, like we are doing with Italy, with one of those professors that we're working on environment, and it's a part of that. There is an expertise in there that we don't have. So here we collaborate. Again, we're collaborating with Louisville University. What? To get a degree from them, because we don't have biomedical engineering, but they have it. So we collaborate 2 years here and then continue there. The collaboration should not stop. And one of the main reasons why we should do it maybe is that the Ministry of Higher Education insists on collaborating with international universities. Insist is not just a choice anymore. Once we, especially when we talk about India, we know them since ages. I lived for 4 years when I was young in Bombay. My family was educated there. So we know the education system and all these. And UAE, they know. Most of them were in the 19th century and beginning of 20th century, they studied in India. So education was done there. We didn't have an education here. Collaboration is something we have to always catch strongly to it and make it happen. And once we go abroad, you have different ideas. And sometimes your college doesn't have, your university doesn't have one specific discipline that others have. Again, you can work with others. So for me, adding to them is, this is a must, it's not a choice. We need to continue doing it so that we learn from each other.
Thank you very much. Really inciting answers. I mean, I like the complement each other rather than use or whatever I learn from each other, because complementing is very important. Throughout my life, I worked in technology transfer, and understanding other cultures is very important, because we have a certain culture here in the UAE, and India have their own cultures. There are many cultures within India. So to complement each other is very important. And I agree 100%. We should not copy each other, but complement it. And Professor Hassan's words that we need to work at faculty level is very important. You need to build the trust between two institutions, and that's the way to train, because we as leader, we meet maybe every now and then it goes. But when faculty work together on research, on collaboration, on teaching, on whatever options they can have, is very important. That will bring the trust and make it solid, and we look at the complementing each other after that as well. One important thing is I teach civil engineering, and if I don't involve industry with my work or my teaching, then really it's very theoretical. So in your visions or in your opinions, how can we bring the industry together with us so that they can collaborate, they can help, they can innovate? Because the innovations are from industry. Our students all should be working in the industry, hopefully, after they finish. So how can we bring that industry from India and UAE into this equation, Professor?
Thank you for this question, actually. You see, one day we were in a conference, and there was a panel discussion. And they were talking about chicken and egg, the collaboration between the industry and the university or academia. Who starts first? The question is very important. Do the academia start first, or do the industry start first? Of course, you all know the answer, right? The academia should start, because the industry is looking for a proven concept of research with universities. So once we prove ourselves, they will come running to you, because it is much cheaper to do research in the university than in their industry. So the collaboration is more than just this one, but this I'm just trying to say, it is a must. And as we all know, the GIA, government, industry, academia, triple helix collaboration. This triple helix should be a solid foundation of any entity, either education or government or industry. And at the end, we look at the problems and we try to solve them. I remember I had a student graduation project. He solved in UAE. He solved Dubal's problem. There was something they proposed fiber optics to solve it. And then the collaboration started. Once you solve their problems, they will come to you. But it's more than that because students are also part of that equation. Students will learn from the industry where you don't see it in the labs. We have labs that are small labs, the concept of it, not the big ones. What they go and they see the real world. If it's engineering, other engineering, they see others. So without the industry, university is just a creator of people who know, have knowledge. But can they apply their knowledge? They may, part of it. But the one that has seen it is different than the one that is teaching it. As we say in UAD, University of Dubai, our chairman says, those who teach entrepreneurship should have been entrepreneurs before, otherwise they can never teach it. Same thing here. So industry is a main part of it. And if you look, like we are partnering with many industries, solving the problems, even giving AI solutions and giving it to them for free. All these together help the community to grow. In a sense, we grow together, so all three should work together.
Thank you, Professor. Ibrahim.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dr. Isa, that industry is quite important. And again, I go back to the context because most of the universities I see in the region, we try to copy the MITs and the likes, right? Where we are not in Boston, we are in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, right? And some other places. So trying to be like other universities is something would actually stall the university. It's not going to move it forward unless you have your own vision and you pave your own way, and that's the right way. So inviting industry and looking at how can we solve local issues, but also those local issues have global implications and impacts and a ripple effect. Of course, Dr. Ghassan talked about the challenges, the global challenges, right? Water and energy. Water is an issue here. Water is an issue actually in India. Water is an issue in Switzerland, although they have so much water, right? So water is an issue everywhere. Energy is an issue everywhere. So there's a lot of things that health is an issue everywhere. So how can we basically engage the industry? We at Khalifa, we actually bring on average about 300 million dirhams per year on research from industry. And why? For a simple reason. Because we ensure that we would have an added value. We don't say in the proposal to the company, we're gonna publish this much papers and and this is where we're gonna graduate students. That's an internal KPI on the faculty, right? If they're gonna engage into research, that's what they have to, that's part of the outcome. But for the industry, they want something tangible. They want solution, key, turn solution. We're not like, we don't have industries like the ones in the US or the West, because when I used to be in the university doing my PhD, for example, you have Raytheon or GE would come in, you would have some technology transfer officer from that company, understand how that research, particular research, how they can at GE translate it from a theoretical research into an application. Here, you're speaking a different language with the industry. They usually don't have those competencies on those people. So you have to walk the extra mile to make yourself useful to them. And that's when they're going to come again. They don't come to Khalifa University because, we have a nice logo. No, seriously. Because they saw the added value and now they can come back again. And that's what they see, right? And again, I know we have capstone designs in senior years. How can you direct those directly to the industry? Encourage entrepreneurship from the beginning with the students. Once they get exposed to entrepreneurship from the beginning, the students themselves, they're going to connect with the industry as well. So let's not forget, because the highest population you have in university are who? Are the student. And we're not capitalizing on those, right? They wanted the president to go and find the industry. But although you have a big number of students that actually, if we, from day one, we tell them what are the businesses and they can speak that language with the industry, then they can themselves bring the industry into the university. Another, just one last point, there is a model called University 4.0, which we're becoming a member of Khalifa University, which is basically, university have a lot of space, depending on the university. You can always make space, by the way. If you study how much the utilization of your classrooms, you're always going to find it 60% utilized. Anyhow, so we did that at the university and said, okay, we're not utilizing fully the spaces. Why don't we bring universities in? So we have Siemens on campus. We have other small entrepreneurs and companies on campus, which makes it easier for the faculty and the student to interact with those people in the corridors, and that creates another sort of innovation. So if you have space, bring industry in for a few years, don't charge them. You're going to benefit the long run. This is an investment. Usually we always think about, oh, we're going to get them to pay, but you're not investing anything. Why should they pay you? Why shouldn't they be in a financial city, right? Somewhere where they can get an investment. Why are they coming to you? What added value are you bringing? Again, I go back to what added value are you giving to the industry? That's when they're going to come. Otherwise, if you're going to sell them publications, IPs, you're pushing them away from you, and basically you're not going to be as innovative as you would like to be. Thank you.
Same question. My colleagues have said everything, but I will try my best.
Before you start, Prof. Hassan's experience goes global. He's been all around the place in Bahrain, in Emirates, in Manchester, in the UK. So his experience is really suits this
Thank
question.
you so
So
much.
hopefully,
I'm learning from the experts today. I like it because what Professor Ibrahim was talking about the language. When I compare university with industry, it's like comparing my generation with Generation Z, which I see a lot of them born 1997 to 2012. They speak a different language from us. They have different aspirations. They have different expectations. They have different ambitions. The same like the university and the industry. They speak a completely different language. They have different aspirations. In our case, we want to publish the papers to get the promotion. And, on average, 8 people across the globe from the 8.4 billion read a referee journal paper, 8. So we spend all our time publishing, getting citations, and doing well in the ranking because it will help our ranking. But reality, we don't work with industry. I mean, we hardly collaborate between universities. We're talking about collaboration with industry. As Professor Ibrahim said, and Professor Isa, you need the ecosystem. When you look at technology parks in the Arab world, hardly any. There are few in the UAE, some in Egypt, 1 or 2, and Saudi Arabia and so on. In India, I think there are more, for sure. So unless you have the ecosystem to co-locate universities and companies together, what sort of collaboration you can do? I'm very optimistic in the UAE with the CAA outcome-based evaluation framework because it talks about collaboration with industry, 20% of the weighting, correct? And it talks about changing the curriculum in the university, delivering some of the teaching by industry people. I think this will be the starting point for us. The second point, universities have never, hardly any, proved their economic and social impact. They have never measured it. So when you go to the industry, they will tell you, show us the economic impact of what you are doing. We don't have any figures, we don't have any measurement. And those guys are interested in the commercialization of things, what Professor Ibrahim mentioned. We've heard, I don't know about China, whether it's true or not, somebody sent me yesterday, you will be getting a PhD if you commercialize a product. If you take it to the commercialization stage, you can get a PhD. And I agree.
Yes.
I agree with this. What's the point for us to publish 4 papers when 8 people read them? So 8 times 4, 32 people across the globe. And if I can turn my research into a commercial product, which can help the 2.2 billion people who are desperate for drinking water, the 2.8 billion people who are desperate for sanitation work, instead of publishing a nice paper and put it on the shelf and nobody can read it. So we need to change the fundamental model of learning, of dealing with industry. Otherwise, this issue, we have been talking about it, I remember in my case, for the last 30 years. And what we have done, few internships there, few companies have been commercialized or spin out and so on. This is very, very, very embryonic.
Thank you very much. Really very insightful comments. And again, I completely agree with whatever you said, because industry is important, is paramount for our delivery of courses. I want to move to something different now. I mean, Prof. Ibrahim briefly mentioned it, is what entices a student to move from India to Dubai and vice versa, what the two countries can offer. So in your opinions, what sort of model we can use to between universities to collaborate together, deliver together? You mentioned the research whereby we can complement each other in the labs and the equipment and the knowledge as well. But in the academic framework, let's say, how can we, what model we use? I mean, there's a lot of models around the world. There's franchise, there's dual degrees, there's joint delivery or whatever. In your opinions, what is we use? Prof. Ibrahim.
Well, I think we, as I said earlier, we need to be a bit more innovative, you know. And just a little story back to the point I mentioned earlier on research. So I came back to Khalifa University in 2021, and I was the senior vice president for support services. And I used to see these when we send the research proposals to the industry. We follow a format that is used in the US. Overhead, you pay for a PhD student, you pay for postdocs, and this by itself is almost $1.5 million dirham, right? Although our faculty are paid for 12 months per year, right? Comes from the government. Students are given a scholarship by the university. Maybe the postdoc need to be hired. So you immediately reduce almost $1 million dirham, right? So why do you charge it? And then this $1 million dirham, when we get it, we can't use it. It goes back to the government of Abu Dhabi. So there is no use of it. You know, that's why we were actually scaring the industry, because each project used to cost what? Almost 3 million dirhams. Who's gonna come to you and tell them 3 million dirhams, 3 years, and then I'll give you a solution. And then after 3 years, they have 2 publications and an IP, right? Again, what I'm saying is, let's stop copying what other models are there. We need, as Dr. Yahya Isa mentioned earlier, we need to understand one another. I think that engagement is important. We need to understand what students want, as Dr. Ghassan mentioned. What do they want, instead of us here, you know, very senior people sitting in and say, you know, let's design something from them, and then try to push them to do it. Because we've tried it in Khalifa University for different countries. Last year, we, from the presidential affairs, we got 20 seats, full scholarship for UAE nationals to go to top universities in China to do their postgraduate degrees. We got 0 student interested to go. 0. Why? Because they don't know China. It's not China doesn't have top universities. They have, you know, very top universities, you know. So we didn't understand what the student wanted, right? We just wanted to push this. We sent an email, we did some workshops, and, you know, but we never asked the student, what do you want? Right? So I think the model that is going to work is after understanding one another, culture, and then getting the students actually to tell us what they want. Get them to talk to one another. Do they actually want to come to the Middle East? Do the students from the Middle East want to go to India? If they want to, how do they want it to be, structured? I don't have a solution, to be honest with you, because I don't have a model. Some people will tell you the Erasmus model, and I commented this on last week. The Erasmus model was done for political reasons. Was not done it was done for economical reasons. It was sponsored by Germany and France. These are the countries who have factories and who have economies to bring people from the biggest populations like Ukraine, Poland, and others to migrate to those locations. For us, we don't have to have that. We already have people going back and forth in both these countries for centuries, right? History says this. Now, what do we need to design? I think we need to ask the students, and I urge that we have cultural visits of our students to go to India and have cultural visits from students to come here. Maybe one model that I see can work, which is meaningful and impactful, is if they can both work on projects. We've done this with the Chinese. It's very, with the Beijing Institute of Technology, it's a very effective. We have a project. They do part of it. We do part of it. They come and meet for 2 weeks here, 2 weeks in Beijing, and then actually they go into competitions. They become one unity, one team, and that's a very sustainable practice. This is something I think is much more meaningful than a student just goes to another campus and sits there and listens to the same lecture. I wouldn't pay for their travel, their accommodation, and their stay there. I don't know, the health insurance and everything, and get the university to work on this dynamic. I think the students should tell us what we want, what they want, and then we as leaders, we should make it happen.
Thank you, Professor.
Actually, you said it all this time. You see, one thing we have like in the United Arab Emirates, when you talk about industry, mainly we talk about the local industry. Those international companies, why are they in UAE? For sales and marketing. So once you want to try to work with them in a project, they don't have one because they are only sales and marketing. So we need to look at those that are local industry, and that's what we are doing. Local industry, and work with them to make things happen. So research collaboration, what a kind of collaboration? We need, I think the government needs to do one of the following in terms of regulations. I think they need, a simple example before I say it, like IBM, they had here in the maintenance city. I went to Zurich, they have the same thing, but it's a big research center they have, and producing many things, and working with all the universities. Here, they had only sales and marketing. So maybe the regulation should come to tell them that, yes, you are here, but you need to add value. Don't just get money and send it somewhere else. Add value by having research centers or collaborate universities to solve your problems that may be somewhere else besides the other country. If this happens, then I think it will be a good idea. So one of the things is a must work with the industry. There's no other choice. But we need to be firm on this. The government should say, you come here, you're welcome, but add value to like the offset program with the defense. 30% of their income, they put in Abu Dhabi. These kinds of things we need. Either you put it in, you add it to the research, or you yourself have a research center that can collaborate with the university.
Thank you, Professor.
I think we need to do something, not talk about it, because reality, we have been talking about it, as Professor Ibrahim Saita mentioned. I bet if you go and see the proper collaboration between Indian universities and UAE and Arab universities, you will see it in the area of publications, because they help each other to get the promotion. The student mobility, I think, is maybe the last priority, and this is reality, because we don't have the funding for it. I'm glad you mentioned Erasmus. I used to work in the UK for 20 years. So I know how much Europe have spent in their various program, Horizon program, and so on, billions of pounds or dollars to build this collaboration and to do the Erasmus project for student exchange. And it was driven, you're absolutely right, Professor Ibrahim, not by educational needs, political, economic, social, getting to know each other because they speak different languages. But unless we do something, unless we have a joint funding mechanism to fund these activities, we can talk about it as much as you want. And I'm going to end by telling you the story of the king and the toaster. There was a king who wanted a toaster. He wanted to toast some bread. So he asked the doer and the talker to do it for him. The doer went home, designed the toaster, manufactured it, tried it, put some bread, got toasted bread. He went to the king early morning, said, King, I got the toaster for you. The king plugged it in, put some bread, got toasted bread. He was over the moon. That's all what he wanted, toasted bread. The talker disappeared for 20 years and came back with big designs, drawings. He said to the king, look, king, I have designed the toaster for you. You can use it as a toaster. You can use it as a hair dryer. You can use it as a coffee machine. And the king decided to imprison the talker, and they all lived happily ever after. So the brief was very clear. All what they wanted, he wanted a toaster. In our case, we want to help our student mobility, faculty mobility, joint publication, joint programs, franchise degrees, and so on. We know what they are. How do you do them without the money? Money talks.
Thank you very much, Professor. I totally agree. I think we do need to have a funding mechanism to fund that. And Prof. Ibrahim put his finger on the thing. If funding is spent on administration, then there is not good. But the funding has to be spent wisely on the product or the project or anything else like that. So there is a bit of work to do, to be honest. And unless we have a funding regime, and unless we know what we want to do, then it will be difficult to do anything. It will be signing an MOU, and then everybody goes, yeah, collect us. So, well, thank you for your inciting thoughts. Really very inciting, and hopefully we can work on these thoughts and make them happen at some stage. And I really thank you for coming and sparing the time to enlighten us with your thoughts.
Final thought, okay?
Yes, please.
Well, one of the things I'd like to tell you, it's very easy to collaborate with India. I'm sure that every UAE national here knows Indian songs, Indian movies, and speak Hindi also. So in that sense, that culture is very close. So we'll work more with each other. Thanks.
May we please request for Vice Chancellor to felicitate us, our guests. Our Group Vice Chancellor, Dr. Gurinder Singh Sir, has extended special thanks to all the leaders here. He was pained that he could not come due to medical exigencies, but nonetheless, he said that is the reason I had requested everybody to join in person, and it was his personal request to all of you. But he looks forward to meet you in Dubai or in India or anywhere else in the world, wherever we are. So with this, ladies and gentlemen, please join us in felicitating our guests. I would request IT team to please take forward. Gurinder Sir, I would request you to join for the conferring of awards as well. Amity is proud to confer upon His Excellency Professor Ibrahim Al-Hajri, the President of Khalifa University Science and Technology, an Amity Global Excellence Award. Keep the applauses coming. It's a matter of great pride we have been joined by such erudite leaders. Also, please keep applauding for Professor Gassano, Chancellor of Abu Dhabi University, for an Amity Excellence Award in Academia. I would request Team Hospitality to please step forward and felicitate our guest, Professor Hassan. Please give it up for Professor Gassano. If the applause is coming, ladies and gentlemen, it's a matter of pride for us. Amity is equally proud to confer upon His Excellency Dr. Isa M. Al-Bastaki, the President of University of Dubai, a certificate of recognition for his keynote address at the India-Arab Presidential Roundtable. Keep the great applauses coming. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. May I request all the dignitaries to please step forward for a photograph, for a memorable photograph on this podium, on this dais, where the most erudite discussions have happened. We will be sharing the video recordings of these remarks with all our student fraternities and faculty for their consumption. All deans also and the Senate. All deans to please step on the stage for a photograph. Quickly, please. All deans to please step on. The deans are joining us. And Dr. Rajneesh to give the vote of thanks after this. I now hand it over to Dr. Rajneesh for his vote of thanks. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, respected dignitaries, esteemed speakers, faculty members, researchers, and participants. As we come to the close of inaugural ceremony of the International Conference on Sustainability and Technology in Higher Education 2026, it is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks. First and foremost, we extend our deepest gratitude to our founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, whose vision and unwavering commitment to education excellence continue to inspire institutions across the globe. We sincerely thank our Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, for his leadership and strategic direction in advancing innovation and global engagement within higher education. A very special and heartfelt gratitude goes to Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, whose dedication, leadership, and tireless efforts made this conference a reality. As the driving force and main organizer behind the ICS THE 2026, his commitment reflects the very spirit of sustainability and transformation that this conference presents. Give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Special thanks to Dr. Wajahat Hussain, CEO Amity Middle East, for his unwavering support and constant encouragement in organizing conferences of international repute at Amity Dubai. We also extend our heartfelt gratitude to our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Saif Al-Sayari, for his exemplary leadership and invaluable guidance, which have been instrumental in making such events a resounding success. Thank you all for your presence, participation, and commitment to shape a sustainable and technologically empowered future for higher education. Thank you so much. The plenary sessions will go on in G07. All the researchers and presenters can continue presenting their papers in G07. Thank you.